Hello and welcome back to season 5. Yep, season 5 of Let's Talk Chicago Bears. What is up on this Friday for everyone? For you working stiffs, it's your last day of the week and it's a weekend. And fall is starting on Sunday. Oh, now that I live in Vegas, of course, fall is a little different here, but this is the best time of the year. The end of June, July, and August are usually hot. I don't mind because I like it hot. And then it just starts to get gorgeous in September through next May. And it's beautiful. So, yeah, we're digging it. I do miss fall in Illinois, I won't lie. Used to be one of my favorites, with all the colors changing and, all that beautiful stuff, opening the windows and having the beautiful air come in. Can't really do that here in Vegas. You can and you can't. It gets kind of windy, so if you have your windows open, you get a little dust in the house, but there's always something wrong everywhere you live, right? So, all right, let's get talking about the show. First, I want to give out a couple shout outs first. I've been asking people where they live, what state they live in besides Illinois, because I know there's a lot of Illinoisers out there watching me, and thank you. And so I just want to give another shout out. My brother was like, hey, you didn't mention Tennessee. Well, I did a week ago, but clearly you didn't watch the show, buddy. But I got some more people that, so I'm just going to give another quick shout out to all of you because I really appreciate it. And if you haven't told me where you're listening from and you're not on this list, let me know. So, of course, Illinois people are watching me. Tennessee, that's my brother. I've got 2 brothers and a sister, and he's the one brother from Tennessee is the only one that watch. Thank you. I have a good friend. There's a couple people now in Georgia. I have a good friend, Dan, who he also does shows, and I used to do a show with him, a podcast. And a couple other people said they are from Georgia. I've got several people now from California, my really good friend. And then there were some people that wrote me this week and said they're from California. So welcome. I've got, obviously, Nevada. Reno, Nevada, welcome. I've got England. Yes, Chris has been watching me for several years. And this year we have a new one, Scotland. I know. Rock on, Scotland. We have Minnesota, Colorado, Arizona, Indianapolis, and PA. So thank you all. I really, really do appreciate you watching me. And I got 14 new subscribers this week. And I hit a goal. I had a goal of 400 subscribers, and I hit it. It's not a lot, but for this old lady, 66 pickled lady who loves the Bears, I'm rocking it. The little thing is, I started this show during COVID because I'm a widow. I live by myself. My son's a few miles away, but when COVID hit, I was stuck in the house, this big old house I'm renting, and, you couldn't go anywhere or do anything, so I was like, what the hell am I going to do? And several of my friends are like, you love to talk. I do. And you love the Bears. I do. And they said, why don't you do a Bears show? And so I started it, and I had no idea what I was doing. I really kind of don't now, but it's fun. So, again, I just wanted to thank you. I do really appreciate anybody who watches me. It's pretty cool. I mean, really, I'm an older woman, and I've gotten a lot of messages from people on some of my comments, how they're like, you remind me of my mom, or, it's just cool that you're an older person and you're really into them and you really, kind of know what you're talking about. So it is fun. So, and I like to have fun, and I like to have a lot of laughs and stuff. So I do got to tell you a funny story before we get into the show because I just thought it was too damn funny, and maybe I'm the only one that doesn't know about this. So I go to Walmart the other day. This is funny. I know nothing to do with football, but I like to have fun and make people laugh, so I'm hoping this will make you laugh. So I go to Walmart the other day, and I was picking up incidentals, and I needed deodorant. So I walk over to the deodorant aisle, and I'm just standing there looking at it like, well, this isn't the deodorant aisle. And I'm looking and I'm like, oh no, it is deodorant. What's wrong here? And then I realized, after looking at it for a second or two, again, pickled, It's all behind glass and locked up. I'm like, it's deodorant. So a gentleman and his wife walk up, and apparently they know about this. So he goes, and there's this button next to it that I didn't see, and it said for assistance push. So he pushes it, and I go, what is going on? He goes, oh, didn't you know? And I go, no. He goes, apparently people are ripping off deodorant from Walmart and selling it on the street. Who would buy deodorant from somebody on the street? It's really not that expensive. Mine was $4.28. Seriously? I was laughing so hard. So then the associate from Walmart comes up. She unlocks the thing, opens the door, and I go to grab it. She goes, oh, no, ma'am, you can't do that. All right. I go, okay. She takes it out, and then she pulls out this plastic container about this big. It's all enclosed. She puts it in there and locks it. And she goes, and when you go up to the checker, they'll take it from there. And I'm like, okay. I go, they don't even do this with liquor. I mean, in stores, they usually have those plastics things on top of it, and at the checkout, they take them off and you leave, right? You scan it and you go. I was laughing so hard through that whole trip of Walmart. It was freaking funny. I mean, seriously, it's deodorant. Oh, my God. So then I get to the checkout, and she sees it. She goes, oh. And she goes, let me unlock this and give it to you. And I said, okay. So she unlocks it, and then I go to grab it. She goes, oh, no, I have to scan it. I'm like, what? So she has to scan it, and she puts it in my bag. Again, deodorant. I'm sorry, but that just cracked the hell out of me. Okay, so I just had to tell you that. All right. So let's skip it to the Bears, okay? So the Bears are 1-1. They're playing Indianapolis. And last week, for some reason, I thought they had a better record, but the Indian does not. Indianapolis is 0-2. They did lose 2 close games, one to Texas. They lost by 2 points. It was 29-27 in the first week. We know that because we just played Texas. And then they lost by 6 points to Green Bay. So they've been in the games. So, it's not going to be a pushover, but we're going to talk about it, and it is in Indy. The other thing, one other thing I want to do is give a shout out to Owen Kreutz, Briggs, and Charles Tillman, because they were named Hall of Fame nominees. So we'll know next year in 2025 if any one of these three get names to the actual Hall of Fame. So congratulations, and in my opinion, they all deserve it. So, and Olin Kreutz is in this. I just knocked my hat off the. But Olin Kreutz is actually in this picture here. That was one of the best O-lines the Bears have ever had, was in the mid-'80s. Oh, man, they were just awesome. And, boy, we could really use that O-line again. I wonder if these guys will come out of retirement. They got to be better than the shit we have now. So I got to tell you, I was listening to Coach Flus on his press conferences after the games, and I got to tell you, after listening to him, he sounds like a politician. And what I mean by that, he never answers the questions. It's always a roundabout, this, that, ooh. I'm like, oh my God, I can't take any more politicians. And now he's acting like one. I mean, he wouldn't really admit, I guess he can't do that, but that his O-line is really bad. So he kind of like spread it around on the whole offense, blaming them all, including number 18. So I don't know. It was just funny. It's like, really, Flus? Answer the frickin' question, okay? But you know them, head coaches, they don't like to talk about stuff like that, and especially when the team is bad. And our offensive line is not too good. Okay, so this is what I do on the show before each game. I compare the two teams just in 4 different categories. Where they rank in the league in passing, rushing, points scored, and points allowed. So the Bears, as we know, their passing has been atrocious. We're dead last. We're number 32, and our average is 99 yards a game. That is like a peewee football passing percentage. Terrible. Indy is a little bit better. They are averaging 189.5 yards a game, and that puts them 17th in the league. Rushing, we're atrocious there too. We're not actually last, but we're very close. There we're rushing about 77.5 yards a game, the Bears. That puts them 28th in the league. Indy is better. They're averaging 122 yards a game. That puts them 16th. So much better. Points scored. The Bears haven't scored a lot of points. We know that because we have no offense. They have scored an average of 18.5. That puts them 18th in the league. And coincidentally enough, where they're tied with Indy at 18.5, puts them 18th in the league. So they're both tied exactly for the same amount of points scored. Average. The points allowed by your defense, we're much better than Indy at that. We've only given up an average of 18 points a game. That puts them 6th in the league. And Indy is averaging 22.5 points a game, putting them 19th in the league. So, they beat us in pass, they beat us in rush. We're tied in scores, and then the only thing we really got them is our defense in allowing points. So it's relatively close. We know that. So let's see now. Our offense. Now this is when the offensive line becomes apparent. Williams has been sacked 9 times. The Indy quarterback. What is his name? I can't think of his name off the top of my head. He's the second-year rookie, Richardson, I think. He has been sacked 3 times. The Bears defense has 2 interceptions. We have snagged 2 interceptions. The Indy defense has snagged 4 interceptions. I take that back. Okay, see. Sometimes I could just shoot myself in the head. All right, let's get this right, Lynn. I've been doing this 5 years. You think I could say it right. Okay, let's start it over. Offense. He's been sacked 9 times. Their quarterback has been sacked 3 times. That means that they're offensive lines. Cabe has thrown 2 interceptions. Richardson for Indy has thrown 4 interceptions. Our top running back is, if you can believe it, Williams. He has 59 yards. He's got more than Swift. That is terrible. We cannot have that. Their running back is Jonathan Taylor, Indy, and he's really good. He went to Wisconsin. I believe he went to Wisconsin. Did he? Maybe not. I don't know. He's very good, though. And our top wide receivers, this again is embarrassing, is DJ Moore, number 2. He has 89 yards. That's bad again, okay? But we know if we're only averaging 99 yards passing a game, we know that nobody has any yards, right? And Alex Pierce for Indy has 181 yards receiving. So they, clearly offensive-wise, they got us. D-wise, we're a little better. So the Bears have sacked our opponents 6 times. Indy has sacked their opponents defensive 4 times. Our Bears have gotten 2 interceptions defense. Indy doesn't have any. We have 2 forced fumbles and 2 fumble recoveries. Indy has 1 and 1. 1 forced fumble and 1 recovered. So we're really not that far apart, okay? And I will tell you that Indy has so far their defense has allowed 474 yards rushing through 2 games. Now that is really bad for the defense, but really good for the Bears going into Indy. If Indy has given up that many yards in 2 games rushing, they have a problem. Now, we know we have a problem rushing the ball, so this would be a very good opportunity for the Bears to get on the rushing game and get over 100 yards. And Swift, I know it's only been 2 games, and I'm just not liking what I'm seeing from this guy. I mean, he doesn't seem to have a lot of burst, and as soon as he's touched, he goes down. Get Herbert, Johnson in there, a Homer. Let's see what the other guys can do. It's game 3. Mix it up a little bit, guys. What I like about number 24, Herbert, is he he keeps the legs going, and he's big, and he's a power back, so he can push through. And I'm sorry, I know you signed Swift, and you gave him some cash, but if the guy ain't doing it, ain't doing it. I know they're going to start with Swift anyways because they're not going to listen to me, but we have got to get that run game going. And if we cannot miss this opportunity of playing a team that has given up 474 yards in 2 games, because that's terrible. If the Bears defense did that, we would be shitting in our pants, wouldn't we? So, Bears running game, here's your opportunity. But you also can't rely on them being shitty at stopping the rush. You've got to excel. And again, if you can't run the ball, your number 18, Cabe, and that's my nickname for him, Cabe can't have time. Running the ball is a quarterback's best friend, a running game, especially a rookie who is going to start his 3rd game. Okay, so we really need this win. We know that. We need it because we need to get this, and we need it for the offensive team. The offensive team has to stand up, and it starts with the O-line. There's injuries on it, lack of talent, lack of, I don't know, just plain giving 110%. I don't see it, and I was thinking all week, Poles better be on that damn phone doing whatever it takes. And you know what right now? Your biggest problem, Poles, is that offensive line and second rush game. If you get the offensive line figured out, I'm pretty sure that rush is going to clean up too. But he needs, and if you have to start giving something away, you damn well better do it, because we've got a pretty darn good defense. And you've got a quarterback that has so much potential, but if you're not giving him the opportunity to show it and have time to see the field, set his feet, it's not going to be good. It's just going to get worse and worse. So this is a serious problem. It needs to be fixed now. I don't know why Poles has not addressed it, but he certainly has not. And I'm saying, I've been reading, he's trying to get another edge rusher. Yeah, of course we need one, but let's all know, and you're all agreeing with me, I'm sure, you need to get another or a couple offensive linemen, at least one somebody. There's not really anybody good out there, and it's only the 3rd game, so teams that are out, nobody's really out of it yet, so they aren't going to give you somebody real good yet, but you got to try, Poles. You got to go out there, because this is so important. I am so worried about this. Because, again, defense is doing a great job, and offense is not. I want to see, so we got to come out there. We got to give 18 Cabe the time to see the field and get it. He does have to release that ball a little bit quicker, and he's got to learn to throw out of bounds. When that line and he knows he can't get away, you better throw that ball out of bounds, young man. You can't take sacks, and you can't take intentional groundings. And what I'd like to see the Bears do a little bit more, because Cabe is good at when they have a planned rollout for him and then he throws the ball. He's good at that. He's not good at turning around and 4 defensive linemen are in his face. I'm sorry, no quarterback. I don't care if you're, that idiot on the Jets. I don't care if you're David Carr, if you're, anybody really good in the league. Tom Brady, he's not there, but still, you turn around to go set your feet to throw the ball, and there's 4, even 2 guys in your face, you're not going to get anywhere. And that's what's been happening to him for these last 2 weeks, and we know it. So, I mean, the offense has only scored, God, what is it? 17 points so far? 17 or 18, something like that. It's under 20. They have not scored more than 20 points in 2 games, our offense. That is bad. You're not going to win. And when you got talent on that defense, the offense has to do their part. And, saying all this stuff, Flus, we're going to, it's progress. We're going to work hard. These guys have to, really get in there and this and that. I don't know, but you better start raising your voices and you better start pointing fingers and you better maybe start benching people. If the players in there now aren't showing or showing what you need to see, then bench them and put another second or third string in. It couldn't be any worse, right? Right. So we know what we need to do offensively. It starts with the O-line, period. And I know we have some injuries on the O-line. I know Nate Davis is banged up again, which, quite honestly, that was one of the worst signs of Poles' 3-year tenure with us. Nate Davis, no wonder, was it the Bills that gave him up? Was he with the Bills? Whoever gave him up knew it because that was a bad sign. And quite honestly, it might send a message if you just release them. But you can't because you need bodies. So, but they, Poles and Flus have to send some kind of a message to these guys because they're not getting it. You know what I mean? And the offensive coordinator, I'd like to see stop doing behind the line passes. That is Getsy all the way. I'm like, are you kidding me? I'm having a nightmare. I'm like, oh my God, we're in the Getsy world again. Stop throwing behind the lines. It's not going to work because your offensive line is so horrible. Stop it. Throw down the field. You've got to give this quarterback an opportunity to succeed. Everybody, and everybody's comparing him to Fields, and that's it. I've said it before. Fields is not on this team, so shut the F up about Fields. I don't care about Fields. He's on a team that their defense has allowed 16 points. Yeah, 16 points. That's all Pittsburgh's allowed their opponents. You're going to win games when you have that, okay? I don't care who your quarterback is. It could be me, and I'd be 2-0, okay? So let's forget that. Cabe's in his first year, but we cannot destroy another quarterback. I think you could lose Bears Nation completely this year, Bears, if you do it. I really, really do, because everyone's getting just really sick and tired of it. All right, let's move on to the defense. We know the defense is good. We've got a great backfield. These guys are just wonderful. Our D-line is doing great. They're getting to the quarterbacks. They're rushing them. They need to get in, and they got to get Richardson. They got to get in his face. They got to make him throw. He's thrown 4 interceptions. Let's make him throw 2 more on Sunday, maybe fumble the ball. Get in his face. Do not give him the time. Just like our quarterback, do not give him the time to set his feet and throw that ball. Get at him. And I think our line can do it. And, one of the guys I wanted to mention is Billings. You know what? He is really, really having a good year. He's in the middle. He doesn't get a lot of sacks and this and that, so you don't hear him. But he is double-teamed a lot. And in last week's game in Houston, when he got that fumble, he was double-teamed. It was 19-10. We were losing, and it was in the fourth quarter. And Billings fought off a double team to force the fumble by Cam Akers, and then the linebacker TJ Edwards recovered it, but he was double covered in it. He did, and I've been watching him. He has been around the quarterback or the ball the last 2 games a lot. Watch for him. I didn't put his number. I think he's 97. Let's see. I didn't put it, but I think he is. But awesome. I'm really digging what he's been doing. And he's been in the league 7 years. So, and the other guy who is really showing his stuff is Dexter Sr., our second-year young man, and he's between him and Billings. They are a really good starting tackles. In the first 2 games, Dexter has recorded 5 tackles and 2 sacks and 3 tackles for loss. So Billings and Dexter are really a good pair. Now you've got Sweat on the edge, and they're trying to figure out who's going to complement Sweat on the other side. We know we have that the rookie Austin Booker that they're trying to. They put him in a little bit more. They're subbing back and forth. So if we can figure out the other side of the edge on the defensive line and it's consistent, we're going to be really good because Sweat's doing his job too. So the defensive line, our linebackers, Edmonds and Edwards, are just all over the place. The last 2 weeks between Edmonds and Edwards, they've led the team with the most tackles. We saw that Sandberg, our homegrown Lakeville, Illinois, had a sack, his first sack last week. Congratulations. So linebackers are solid, and our backfield, we know they all are. Brisker, Gordon, JJ, Bard, or whatever his name is, number 31. I never get his name right, but that's solid. So the defense is not a problem at all. But in years past, what happens is our defense is good, but because our offense goes three and out, doesn't score, turns the ball over, or whatever they do, then the defense is back out there and they get exhausted. Then by mid-season, they're spent or hurt because they're playing too much. They're on the field. So that's why you got to have an offense that can deliver. Not only is it good because you score points, but you keep your defense fresh, off the field, fresh, and getting their their juices, their water, whatever, and then they can come out. So offense, you don't want to start pissing off these defensive players, okay? So frickin' do your job this week, okay? So injuries, we have quite a few of them. The ones that did not practice, I'm just going to mention a few. I'm not going to go into it. Allen, again, number 13, another guy that we signed in the offseason who has done nothing. He did not practice. I think he has plantar fasciitis on his foot, and I had that. I couldn't even imagine playing football. I couldn't even touch my heel on the floor. You had to wear shoes all the time, so I hope he gets in, but he has done zero. Number 35, Bascome. He's our fullback. He did not practice. Number 96, our defensive tackle, Pickens, did not practice. These guys were all limited in practice. Defensive the O-lineman, 76, Jenkins. Got to get him in there. Got to get him. Nate Davis, who gives a shit, he didn't limited practice. Billings, I was just talking about Billings on the D-line. He limited. Rome, our wide receiver, number 15, limited. And number 98, Sweat, limited practice, along with number 98, our other D lineman, 98, Walker. So the other D line, so it's Sweat and Walker on the other end. He's been complimenting Sweat 98, but then that's where Austin Booker will go in and out sometimes. And Austin Booker's also been on the special teams too. So, a lot of banged up guys, and again, the more they are out there on the field, way more than the offense, and that's a fact. I should really look that up, and if it continues, I will do that comparison. We got to get these guys rested. It's early. You can't have them this banged up this early because then it's just going to become a very long season. So we know what has to be done. So let's see if we could come away. It's a 10 a.m. game for you Midwesterns in Indy. It's in Indy. So I don't care where it is. The Bears have to come back with a W. I think it's really, really important. Of course, it doesn't end the season if they don't win, but I think the offense has to really, really show some improvement. If we're in game 3 now, it's still the first quarter of the season, the first 4 games. You're making adjustments. You're finding out what works right, who works best with who, blah blah. But in this case, it's really not rocket science. We all know what it is. Okay, so. That's all I can say is they just have to get their shit together on the offense, period. I do have to tell you another funny story about the offense. So I was watching the Monday night game, which was an awesome game. Philadelphia and Atlanta. And great game. Atlanta came back and won that game. It was really good. Kirk Cousins, people were saying that he didn't look good in his first game because, he tore his Achilles last year when he was with Minnesota. That's why they didn't re-sign him. So now he's in Atlanta, but he looked damn good on Monday night. Anyways, so Jason Kelsey was in the booth with Aikman and Joe Buck, and they were talking, and he was talking about how he helped the Philadelphia Eagles replace him at center because he played there 11 years and he was one of the best centers in the league. I can't even tell you how many Pro Bowls he went to, but he went to a lot. So he was involved. And so now their center is really good because he handpicked him. So I got to thinking, wow, he's really smart. So I found his email. I'm not kidding. I found his email and I emailed Jason Kelsey and I said, Jason, I've been a fan for 49 years. I love my Bears. I'm 66. I'm not getting any younger. I want to go to another Super Bowl. I want to watch the Super Bowl with my son and my grandsons. But you got to do it now. Plus, Mrs. McCaskey's like, 1,000 years old, and she needs to see another one. No disrespect, but she's 100. I'm sorry, I shouldn't say that because I love that woman. And I wrote to him and I said, could you please, and I wrote this, call the Chicago Bears offensive lineman coach and talk to him and tell him you suck and tell him what he needs to do to improve us. Or come visit Chicago and give him some tips. Please, Jason, I'm begging you. Of course, I haven't heard from him yet. But I'm not going to stop, guys. I'm going to keep emailing him. Hey, and I've got my old... This is the thing about people in jerseys nowadays. Back in the day, when I watched football where they didn't, back where they didn't jump from team to team to team, where they started with a team and they retired with a team. They don't do that anymore. So you buy these jerseys of players you like, and then they're gone. I have got 9 jerseys, I think, in my closet, and is any one of them on the team? I'm trying to think. No. Not one of the guys in my closet is on the current team. I mean, it goes back to, I have Ditka, Walter, Kyle Long. I loved Kyle Long, and he's still a Bears fan. I had Moore. Who else? I can't think of them off the top of my head, but I have 9 of them. And it's just like, so whenever I do this show or I watch a game, I'm like, which one should I wear? Because none of them are on the team. I do have a number 18 Tom Zach, my sister, and it's a legitimate old-fashioned jersey when they sewed the name on and they sewed the numbers on and they're really heavy. Yeah, I got that one, and it's number 18. So this is funny. So I'm going to the game. Me, my sister, she lives in Tennessee now. I'm in Vegas. We're going to fly to Chicago the weekend of October 5th. And on Sunday, the 6th, we're going to see them play Carolina. So I'm like, I'm not buying a jersey. Like my son, he had bought Fields and, I have Mitchell too. Mitchell Trubinsky. So, and we keep buying these quarterbacks, and then they're gone and they suck. So we're both like, we're not doing that anymore until they prove themselves. So I thought what I was going to do, which I am going to do, I'm going to wear the Tom Zach jersey to the game, but I bought a piece of orange cloth that I am going to attach to the back of the jersey where it says Tom Zach, and I'm going to write in Williams. And I'm going to wear it to the game. I'm going to get a lot of comments about that. So I'll tell you about that, and I'll take a picture. Isn't that funny? Hey, you got to be funny, right? Especially if you're Chicago Bear fans. I mean, laughing is essential. Okay, so that's it. I'm not going to beat the dead horse. I'm not even going to say anymore what we got to do because we all know. And I hope you guys enjoy watching me. Again, I don't, break down schemes. I don't do this. I don't do that like a lot of guys do on their shows. I don't do a live show. I have a buddy who does a live podcast. And honestly, I love you, Dan. He is getting so burnt out. He said, it's tough because, sometimes the Bear fans, they can be just downright nasty. Some can be dumb. It's just hard. And I told him, and he's like, it's starting to ruin his joy of the game. And I said, because he does, 2 or 3 a week, which is a lot. See, I used to, him and I did a podcast 2 years ago, a live podcast, The Down Low with Lynn and Dan. And we did it on Wednesday nights, and it was live. And, people write in and they write questions and you talk. See, that's why I like the YouTube show. It's my show. I can say what I want. And people can write comments, it's fine, and I'll answer them. But the one nice thing about my show is you guys are all cool. You're Bears fans. You want to hear about them. You want to laugh. You want to see this old lady's face once in a while. You know it makes you laugh. Come on. My dad's face on a woman's body. Again, not fair. Anyways, and you know what? I am what I am. And my son, who I said to my son, yeah, everything's going good on the show. And he goes, Mom, I hope you're pronouncing the names right because you can't pronounce them. I said, oh, no, I don't even care about that. If I can't say their last name, I'll say their first name and their number. So that's why I use numbers a lot because I am horrible. I murder everybody's name. Caleb, I like him, call him Cabe. Sorry, because you know what? I don't know. And, when I go to the game, maybe I'll meet Cabe. Oh, and then everybody jokes about what color his nail polish is going to be this week. I could care less. That kid could paint anything he wants as long as he can go out there and throw touchdowns and get wins for us. Right? Right. All right. On that note, I got to go because I've gone over my time and I apologize. So as always, thank you so much for watching. This lady really truly appreciates it. I think you guys get it. And as always, please be kind, love one another. Let's stick together, respect one another. Let's just stay together. There's no point in being nasty and mean and, flipping somebody off or, F you and you, or let's help each other. This country is in a mess. I mean, look they're locking up deodorant because it's being sold black market on the street. What has this country come to? I mean, seriously. So this is how messed up it is. So let's just stick together and just love one another and smile and be kind to each other because that sure does help everybody out and everybody feels good. And there's nothing like being happy because it is so easy to get down nowadays, and there's so much stress. And I'm an old lady, 66, as I remind you regularly. And stress has been a very large part of my life, and it has taken years off my life. Why do you think my hair is completely white? Okay, I have 2 brothers and a sister, and none of them have gray hair. Okay. Just me. So you just don't need to be stressed out. That's why I try to smile and be happy and make jokes. And, I just try to find the good in it, So just be kind. Bears fans, we are good people. We need to stick together. We need to root for a win, okay? Everybody's got to put on their good luck charms on Sunday. Whatever jersey they win in, wear it. I have 9 of them. I can't decide which one's a winner. All right. And on that note, you have a wonderful weekend. Go Bears and rock and roll, baby, from Vegas, baby.